Our Earth rotates once in about 24 hours with respect to the Sun. However, the speed of Earth's spin isn't consistent across the planet. At equator, speed of rotation is 1674 kilometers per hour, but as you move north or south, the circumference of Earth gets smaller, so the speed of spin reduces until it reaches its slowest at both the poles. But what happens if Earth suddenly starts spinning faster? Let's find out in this video with the help of information provided by NASA Astronomer Sten Odenwald. My name is Siddharth and you're watching The World of Science. Let's start with less. If we could speed up Earth's rotation by just 1 kilometer per hour, the sea level around the equator would rise by a few inches. Researchers believe this might take a few years for us to notice. What might be much more noticeable is that some of our satellites would be completely off track. Geostationary satellites orbit our planet at a speed that matches the Earth's rotation so that they can stay positioned over the same spot all the time. If the planet speeds up by mere 1 kilometer per hour, then the satellites will no longer be in their proper positions, meaning satellite communications, television broadcasting, and military and intelligence operations could be interrupted, at least temporarily. Some satellites may be able to adjust their positions and speeds accordingly, but others might have to be replaced, and that would be expensive. Have you ever wondered what would happen if all the satellites ceased to work all at once? Then check out this video. Things would get more disastrous as we spin faster. The centrifugal force from the Earth's spin is constantly trying to throw you off the planet, sort of like the spook kid on the edge of a fast merry-go-round. For now, gravity is stronger and it keeps you grounded. But if Earth were to spin faster, the centrifugal force would get a boost. Currently, if you weigh about 90 kg at the North Pole, you might weigh 89 kg at the equator. That's because the extra centrifugal force generated as the equator spins faster would counter the gravity. Press accelerator on the Earth spin and your weight would drop even further. See, you're not overweight, you're just on the wrong planet. Before moving ahead, tell me, what if you could build and launch your own rockets? Thanks to Rocketeers, now you can do that. Rocketeers make high-quality, affordable and solid fuel-powered model rocket kits that even you can launch at your place up to the height of 500 feet. Wait, what? This is surely some desire fulfillment for all those who wanted to become rocket scientists but could not, or those who aspire to be one someday. They have also partnered with ISRO and created awesome merchandises to raise awareness about the works of ISRO as a pillar for space research in India. You can order these rocket kits and ISRO merchandise from their website rocketeers.in. Use our coupon code RWOS for an exclusive 15% off on all products. Link is in the description below. Eventually, if the equator accelerated up to 28,000 kilometers per hour, the centrifugal force would be great enough that you would be practically weightless. That is, of course, if you are still alive. The faster the Earth spins, the shorter our days would become. With a 1 kilometer per hour speed increase, the day would only get about a minute shorter, and our internal body clock, which sticks to a rather strict 24-hour schedule, probably wouldn't notice. But if we were rotating 150 km per hour faster than usual, a day would be about 22 hours long, and that would make things a bit weird for your body without a chance for it to adjust. Do you know the scientific term that we use for the internal body clock? Let us know your answer in the comments. The changing day length would probably mess up plants and animals too. But all this is only if Earth speeds up all of a sudden. If it gradually speeds up over millions of years, we would adapt to deal with that. If Earth's rotation picked up slowly, it would carry the atmosphere with it and we wouldn't necessarily notice a big difference in the day-to-day winds and weather patterns. However, the extreme weather could become more destructive. Hurricanes will spin faster and there will be more energy in them. The extra speed at the equator means the water in the oceans would start to gather there. At 150 km per hour faster, the equator would start to drown. The Amazon basin, northern Australia, and not to mention the islands in the equatorial region would all go underwater about 40 to 70 feet. If we increase the speed at the equator so that the Earth spins 1500 km faster, it would clearly be a disaster. The centrifugal force would pull hundreds of feet of water toward the Earth's waistline. Except for the highest mountains, everything in the equatorial region would be covered with water. Meanwhile, the added centrifugal force from spinning 1500 km per hour faster means the water at the equator would have an easier time combating gravity. The air would be heavy with moisture in these regions. Covered in a dense fog and heavy clouds, these regions might experience constant rain. Not a very pleasant scenario for already drowned cities, eh? Are you enjoying this video? If you want us to keep creating such content, could you please show your support using the Super Thanks option below? Even the smallest contribution you can make will go a long way. It's supporters like you that help us make science more fun and easy than it has ever been. Thank you so much. Finally, at about 28,000 kilometers per hour, the centrifugal force at the equator would match the force of gravity. After that, we might experience reverse rain. Droplets of water could start moving up in the atmosphere. At that point, the Earth would be spinning more than 17 times faster than it is now, and there probably wouldn't be many humans left in the equatorial region to admire that phenomenon. At very fast speeds, like about 40,000 kilometers per hour, and over thousands of years, eventually, the Earth's crust would shift too. Flattening out at the poles and bulging around the equator, we would have enormous earthquakes. The tectonic plates would move quickly, and that would be disastrous to life on the planet. Believe it or not, Earth's speed is constantly fluctuating. Earthquakes, tsunamis, large air masses, and melting ice sheets can all change the spin rate at the millisecond level. If an earthquake swallows a bit of the ground, reducing the planet's circumference ever so slightly, it effectively speeds up how quickly Earth completes its rotation. A large air mass can have the opposite effect by slowing our spins. About 4.4 billion years ago, the Moon formed after a Mars-sized object crashed into Earth. At that time, our planet was probably shaped like a flattened football and spinning so rapidly that each day might have been only about 4 hours long. This event dramatically distorted Earth's shape and almost fragmented Earth completely. Will this ever happen again? We better hope not.
No! God, please, no! No!
Since the formation of the Moon, Earth's spin has been slowing down by about 6 km per hour every 10 million years, mostly due to the Moon's gravitational pull on our planet. So it's a lot more likely that Earth's spin will continue to slow down in the future and not speed up. There is also no possible way that the Earth could spin up so dramatically. To spin faster, it would have to be hit just right by the right object, and that would essentially melt the inner crust, so we'd be dead anyway. Do you know why Earth and other planets are spinning at all? Let us know in your answer in the comments. Do follow us on Instagram for daily quality content that'll make you fall in love with science. Make sure you subscribe to the World of Science. Until next time, stay scientific.